GTA 6 is real. Yeah, you heard me right. As of yesterday, as of recording this, footage was leaked of the game. Now, there was an hour compilation and an 8-minute compilation. I watched the 8-minute one because the hour compilation was taken down. However, I'm here to tell you all about what I saw in that footage. Now, I can't put up the footage because Take-Two is issuing legal takedowns, and I don't want to deal with that. Now, I'm tiny. They might not find me, but they might hunt me, and I'd rather not deal with that. So, what we saw was a pre-alpha, and as far as pre-alphas go, I thought it looked pretty damn good. Now, there were a lot of things, like a lot of the characters looked like action figures, right? But overall, it wasn't as bad looking as I think everybody else is saying it was. And I think a lot of people are gonna, doomsday scenario. Hey, this is what the final game looks like. No, this is a pre-alpha. I've heard people say it was from about a year ago. I don't know the legitimacy, so take that as you want to. But yeah, overall, I definitely think it is proof of Rockstar's commitment to quality that even this alpha looks playable and good by most games' standards. I want to make a side note that the cars look about as good as a lot of things in Valhalla, so I want to get to my dig in at Ubisoft right there. So, it looks like the game is going to be taking place in Vice City, which gives credit to some leaks we saw a little while back. I can't give you the timeline on that. I just remember hearing about it, so I'm conveying that to you guys. You can tell it takes place in Vice City because it takes place in Florida. How do you know it takes place in Florida? Well, there's two guys sitting in lawn chairs in their backyard by a pool debating conspiracy theories. Yep. They show us footage of our character standing by these guys. Our character's name is Jason, and they're just debating a conspiracy and, corporate control and government control of people. I can't make this stuff up. It was super entertaining, and it makes me wonder if all the NPCs are going to have unique little dialogue like this as you roam around the map. That's one of my hopes, but who knows? If any company's going to do it, it's Rockstar. Now, we also got to see a club, and I never actually played the original Vice City on consoles. I actually played it on mobile, and I didn't get too far in it. I did end up getting to the part where you're trying to go to the club. So it looks like that is going to be making a return from the old games. I'm sure we'll see differences in this city like we did in Los Santos when it came into the HD era. But it's cool to see the return. It also looks like we might see some not only girl dancers but guy dancers as well. Well, that's not my thing. I'm sure someone's happy. I didn't see any of them on the stages per se, but I thought I caught a glimpse of one in the background. As I mentioned earlier, we have a character named Jason who we will be playing as. You will also get to play as another character, Lucia. It looks like this is lending credence to the Bonnie and Clyde inspired story leak that we heard about when we also heard it would be taking place in Vice City. Now, there's a scene where Jason and Lucia are holding up a fast food restaurant. And there are a lot of buttons near the characters that you're pointing the guns at. It's basically, hey, give me your money, and all the store hold up things that you would say if you were wanting money out of a cash register. And there's a little wheel there that I really hope is not in the final product because it looks bad, but it looks to me like it's giving the player different options for intimidation and other things, and almost like their dialogue options. I can't remember what they said off the top of my head. I didn't put those in my notes. I do think it's something that we should keep an eye on, because if there's anything like that, I think it'll be really cool mechanically, and I think it'll spice up the game even more. Being able to go inside restaurants and buildings alone is a huge step up from GTA 5, which that was probably the biggest complaint I had about the game, because there were all these really cool buildings and things that, would be amazing to go inside, but alas, design limitations and all that, you can't do that. But maybe they'll be able to do that now, sort of like they did in a lot of buildings for Red Dead. Now, another minor thing was you were able to holster your weapon. There was a scene where I think Lucia was the person who was in the street and they had a rifle slung over their shoulder. There's also part of the leaked footage showing Jason actually leaning his body out of the car and shooting his rifle out of that, which was also a complaint I have with GTA, in just the sense of if you're trying to shoot someone that's behind you, you're having a real hard time if you're in an armored vehicle because you can't look out the window, right? So there are times where your reticle will just disappear and it says, hey, you can't do that right now. So I think it's really neat that that's a feature in this new game where you can actually lean out the window and shoot. I really hope it's in the online mode. Now, something I saw in the comments of the game footage, which I didn't notice because I know nothing about police, is apparently the cops move like police officers would. Now, again, I'm not speaking from my words. This is some random YouTube comment, so I don't know how much credibility it has. But if so, that's really cool. And definitely step up from the cops that were just complete and utter morons in GTA 5. I mean, even a little thing in the Burger King sequence, when they're holding up the restaurant, they have hostages. And the interaction will you have on the clerks, you also have on the hostages. It looks like you'll have to manage them, but the police don't start shooting into the restaurant until the perps, you and Jason, leave. That shows me that they thought about how the police would react. I can imagine, in an actual hostage situation, you're not going to be wanting to fire bullets into a crowded building where, let's say there's 20 people, you have a 2 in 20 chance of hitting your target. So, it's really neat. Overall, I'm super hyped for the game. The only super big thing I'm concerned about is the head writer for the older Rockstar games left the company in 2020. I saw that when it was announced on Twitter in 2020. I was concerned back then, but if they've come this far in development, it's not going to stop me from buying the game. I'm just excited to finally get my hands on this. So this morning, Rockstar went on Twitter and confirmed that this leak was real. Now, we had suspicions based on Take-Two ordering official takedown notices for all this leaked footage, but this morning on Twitter, we got confirmation. I'm going to read the message they posted for you guys. We recently suffered a network intrusion in which an unauthorized third party illegally accessed and downloaded confidential information from our systems, including early development footage for the next Grand Theft Auto. At this time, we do not anticipate any disruption to our live game services, nor any long-term effect on the development of our ongoing projects. We are extremely disappointed to have any details of our next game shared with you all in this way. Our work on the next Grand Theft Auto game will continue as planned, and we remain as committed as ever to delivering an experience to you, our players, that truly exceeds your expectations. We will update everyone again soon, and of course, we'll properly introduce you to this next game when it is ready. We want to thank everyone for their ongoing support through this situation, Rockstar Games team. And it's really good that they are asserting that this will not affect their development too much. I did hear that there were parts of the source code that were taken. I know nothing about computers, so I am not your guy for that. If you want, obviously, Mudahar's the guy. As always, I've been your host, Lettuce Eating Walrus, and call it out for me. Lettuce Eating Walrus, signing off. Bye-bye.